what if the most profound truths, the things that really hit you, hide in the things that just don't last? Think about a sunset, right? Or that perfect cup of coffee in the morning, even just a conversation you have, kind of randomly, that totally changes how you see things. They're here, then poof, they're gone. That fleeting thing, that brief moment. That's what we're digging into today. Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take sources, sometimes a whole stack of them, and pull out those essential bits of knowledge for you. But today, we're doing something, well, a bit different, kind of unique, actually. Our source material, it's just called Excerpts from Ephemeral. And our whole mission, really, is to unpack the power behind that one single word. Ephemeral, it's sort of a journey into language, maybe philosophy, how we see the world. Okay, let's really get into it. Let's try and grasp the full weight of ephemeral.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating right off the bat is how just one word, especially when it's picked as a title, how it can immediately, prime our minds. It sets a tone, doesn't it?
Right.
Builds an expectation. It starts shaping how we understand things before we even see the actual content. It's like the word itself is a quiet but really powerful instruction.
It absolutely is, yeah. It's like an invitation, isn't it, to think in a certain way. So maybe to kick things off, for anyone who's maybe new to the word ephemeral or just needs a quick reminder, what's the basic fundamental meaning we should anchor ourselves to? What's the core idea?
Right. So at its heart, ephemeral basically means lasting for a very short time.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It immediately makes you think of things that are fleeting, brief. And to really understand how deep that meaning goes, we can look at where it came from. It's from the Greek word ephemeros, and that literally translates to lasting for a day.
Just a day.
Yeah, lasting for a day. Think about that. It's baked right into its linguistic DNA. It's not just short. It's specifically day short. That's incredibly precise, really. Gives you this vivid picture of extreme brevity, like a one-and-done kind of thing.
Lasting for a day. Wow, that's so powerful, isn't it? Because, a mayfly might literally live and die in a day, but we use ephemeral to describe so many other things in a much, much broader way, which leads us right into the whole nuance of short time. When we say short with ephemeral, is there some fixed amount of time?
Right.
Or is it always relative?
Ah, that's a really crucial point.
Yeah.
And that's where the word gets dynamic, really flexible.
Yeah.
While that Greek root gives us the day short foundation, how we actually use it is incredibly elastic. Short is almost entirely dependent on the context. What's ephemeral for, say, a galaxy is obviously not what's ephemeral for a person or even a single thought, right? The word inherently implies there's a comparison happening, a comparison to something that lasts longer. So if something's ephemeral, it means it doesn't stick around like other things do or like maybe we expect it to. Kind of forces you to consider, well, what isn't ephemeral in this specific situation?
Right. So it's not just about the clock ticking, but about a relationship between different timescales, a contrast. And that contrast could be huge. Let's think about some examples. Because this source we're using, Excerpts from Ephemeral, seems to touch on a whole range of things, like cosmically speaking, maybe a supernova that could be seen as ephemeral, right?
Yep.
Against the lifespan of a galaxy, it lasts just weeks or months. But it completely reshapes nebulae for thousands, millions of years.
Exactly. Or think geologically.
Yeah.
A volcanic eruption. It's violent, it's brief, but the land it creates, that can last for ages. In both cases, the event itself is ephemeral. But the impact, that can be profound and incredibly long-lasting.
That makes sense.
Precisely. And that's where you start to get these really interesting insights. Our source talks about this quite elegantly. A human lifetime, for instance, seems pretty long to us, obviously, but compared to a mountain range or the planet itself, it's profoundly ephemeral. Yet within that single human life, an emotion, a fleeting thought, that can be ephemeral too, lasting just moments. Or think about nature. Ephemeral wetlands are a perfect example. They only show up seasonally, when it rains. Then they vanish in the dry season. But they're absolutely critical breeding grounds for certain animals.
Yeah.
Their very impermanence is what defines their ecological job.
That distinction is really key, isn't it? Because it means ephemeral isn't just some static measurement of time. It's a dynamic relationship. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. If it's so relative, how does our own experience play into it? Like, does our memory or how present we are in a moment or even what we expect, does that change how we perceive something fleeting? Because the excerpts, our source, seem to really lean into this human angle.
You're hitting on something really crucial there about the subjective side of it. While the word points to, an objective duration, our perception, our emotional connection to that duration, that dramatically shapes its impact. Our excerpts get into this with examples like Street art or
Yeah.
performance art.
Oh, yeah. Good
A
example.
mural might be up for a few weeks, then it's painted over.
Yes.
A dance performance, it happens once, never exactly the same way again. Objectively, sure, they're brief,
Mhm.
but the memory of it, the feeling it gave you, the conversations it started, that can stick with you for years, maybe your whole life.
So is the street art truly ephemeral if the feeling it creates lasts forever in someone's mind? It raises a fascinating question, right? Does ephemerality just belong to the thing itself or also to how we interact with it, how we process it?
Exactly. And our expectations definitely play a part. If we expect something to last forever, like, say, we often think digital data will,
Hmm.
then its fleeting nature feels more, well, painful or disappointing when it disappears. A broken link, a crashed server. Poof!
Right. We've all been there.
The insight here, as our source points out, is that we often build our knowledge systems on this sort of illusion of permanence. We think digital stuff is forever, but actually, it can be surprisingly fragile. Understanding this digital ephemerality, well, it means we need new ways to preserve things, or maybe just accept that some things won't last.
That's a really significant point right there. The illusion of permanence, especially now in the digital age. But on the flip side, if we know something is temporary from the start, like a kid's sandcastle or cherry blossoms blooming, we anticipate it disappearing. Maybe that's even part of why we find it beautiful.
Absolutely.
Its fragility becomes part of its charm, doesn't it? Our excerpts really seem to highlight this tension, our desire for things to last versus the reality that most things don't.
Indeed. It's almost like the word itself, because it's so relative and subjective, demands we have this internal chat with ourselves. It's not just describing something, it's prompting us to reflect. It pushes us to think about what we value and why. The excerpts often mention ephemeral design, think fashion trends, temporary art installations, pop-up shops.
Okay.
These things are designed to be brief, to grab attention for a moment and then fade away. Their value isn't in how long they last, but in their immediate impact, their freshness.
That makes me wonder, though, if calling something ephemeral can sometimes make it seem less important, if it's just lasting for a day, do we maybe care less, or does it actually make us appreciate it more intensely? Seems like it could go either way.
That's a fantastic point, and yeah, the excerpts definitely explore that very paradox. On one hand, sure, if something's easily replaced or forgotten, maybe we assign it less importance, less weight. But on the other hand, consciously understanding that something is ephemeral can actually intensify how we engage with it.
Hmm.
Think about a once-in-a-lifetime event, right? A total solar eclipse, seeing a specific comet, maybe a final concert tour. Knowing it won't happen again makes us want to savor every single second. The excerpts from Ephemeral often seem to argue that this awareness of impermanence is precisely what makes moments precious. It encourages us to be present, to appreciate the now more deeply. It kind of challenges that human habit of always looking ahead or dwelling on the past.
So it's not just telling us what the subject might be, but almost how to feel about it or how to approach it, like a little instruction manual for our mindset. Let's really connect this back to our source then, excerpts from Ephemeral. What are the big implications of choosing that specific word as a title for a whole body of work?
Well, if we look at the bigger picture here, choosing Ephemeral as a title signals a really profound, deliberate focus. A focus on transience, on impermanence, on fleeting moments within whatever that source material contains. It's not just a label. It's basically a thematic declaration. A title like that immediately primes you, the reader, the listener, primes you for content that's going to explore the brief nature of something. It invites you to think about its value or impact despite its short duration. Or maybe, like we said, because of it.
Ah.
It suggests that the beauty or the lesson or the meaning often lies exactly in the fact that it doesn't last.
So it really sets an expectation for the themes inside. But beyond just theme, what kinds of questions does it make us ask? What kind of lens does it put over our eyes as we engage with the text?
That raises a really important question for anyone coming to a text like this. The title ephemeral becomes a filter, a lens we view everything through. It primes us to look for what fades away, what's just momentary, and crucially, what lessons or insights we can actually pull from things that don't endure. Are the excerpts maybe a collection of observations about short-lived natural events? Or perhaps it's a philosophical look at how fleeting human efforts are? Maybe a history of forgotten moments or lost technologies? Whatever the content actually is, we're encouraged by that title to find meaning in its transience.
It's an active title then, not passive. It doesn't just describe, it directs our attention, tells us to pay close attention to fragility, to brevity. I'm just thinking how different that title would feel depending on the genre, you know? If it's a book of poems, Ephemeral suggests like lyrical thoughts on fleeting beauty, lost love, time passing.
Right.
If it's a scientific paper, it might be about particles that exist for nanoseconds or maybe species right on the brink of vanishing. The title itself seems to amplify the drama or the beauty of whatever it's attached to.
Absolutely. And the title Ephemeral encourages a specific way of reading or listening. It invites us to appreciate the present moment, knowing it's going to pass.
Hmm.
It shifts our focus away from permanence, something we often subconsciously crave, I think,
Yeah.
towards the powerful significance of things that are transient.
Hmm.
The text, just by being called ephemeral, is kind of asking us to find value in what's temporary.
Common value.
Yeah. It encourages us to look for the spark, the immediate hit, the beauty in something that might be gone tomorrow. It could even be seen as a critique, maybe, of our constant chase for lasting monuments, for legacies, reminding us that perhaps the real meaning is found in the moments themselves.
It almost feels like a call to action then for you, the listener or reader, to approach the content with like a heightened awareness, to be open to the value in things not lasting. It's subtle, but really powerful, isn't it? How it guides our engagement. This whole deep dive, it really shows how much depth you can find in just one word.
It truly does. The choice of ephemeral as a title, that itself becomes a profound philosophical statement.
Right.
It sets an expectation that we should not only appreciate the content,
Yeah.
but also reflect on our own relationship with time, with memory, with the constant ebb and flow of existence. It challenges us, really, to face the fact that everything ultimately on some scale is fleeting.
Wow. Okay, this has been such a fascinating journey into just one word. We took ephemeral. We defined its core meaning, lasting for a very short time. We explored how relative that is across cosmic scales, geological, biological, digital, human scales. We uncovered some surprising ideas like that illusion of permanence in the digital world
Hmm.
and the profound power it has just as a title that shapes how we see things, primes us for certain themes, and encourages a deeper, more mindful way of engaging. It really drives home the idea that even a single word, if you really unpack it, really consider it,
Hmm.
can be this deep well of knowledge and insight, a catalyst for understanding not just language, but maybe our whole experience of the world. It pushes us to challenge our assumptions about things lasting forever and maybe find meaning in what doesn't.
Absolutely. And maybe as you go about your day, just consider what ephemeral truly means in your own life, what fleeting moments or ideas, maybe a chance meeting, a unique taste, a certain song playing, a spontaneous thought, what things hold unexpected significance for you precisely because they don't last. How does that impermanence maybe amplify their value or even demand your immediate attention?
That's a really wonderful thought to carry with you. We hope this deep dive into the word ephemeral has given you, maybe, new eyes to see the transient beauty, the hidden insights, and the profound meaning in the world around you. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and we'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.